Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Seven of Pentacles. To me, that is the prototype for success, right? These are all of the, maybe the iterations of what we've been attempting in our lives, okay? I feel like you're somebody who, you stick with it. You have this kind of commitment, this kind of devotion to something, to where you're kind of like you're like a builder, a craftsperson, or a scientist even, that you keep trying this thing, and it doesn't always work. Okay, so we learn from that, and then we try again. And we do a little bit better. Maybe it still doesn't quite work. We learn from that, and we keep trying. So I feel that you have this very committed energy. And it kind of goes right on with that Taurus energy, you know. Kind of this stubborn commitment. And I feel like you're somebody that does not quit. You don't give up. Failure is not a word that you have in your vocabulary. You might just think of it as like, I haven't failed, I just have not quite succeeded yet, okay? And I think every failure really is that prototype for success. We're getting the bugs worked out of something, you know? Just because something doesn't work right the first time, you don't throw it away, right? You keep working at it. You're somebody that I think understands what like delayed gratification really is. You're somebody that has long-term plans. And you're somebody that appreciates the little things. See, someone could look at this card and be like, oh, that's nothing. There's no color. It's just a black card. I don't want that. There's nothing good in there. No, but you can see the details of this card as it really is. There is nourishment here. There is value here. It's not a card of failure, right? It's only failure if you can't see what it really is. If you're not able to glean any kind of insight or take any kind of nourishment or encouragement from this, then yeah, it's going to seem like a waste of time. So this is somebody that's putting in a lot of effort to something, and other people might be looking at them and thinking, why do you keep doing that? What are you getting out of it? There's nothing there, right? You keep tending to this garden, but nothing's growing, right? You know better because you can see the value. One, you know the value of work just for work's sake, okay? The value of work is not just in what you produce, okay? But on top of that, you can really appreciate the subtle. You can take nourishment from really anything. What other people might see as just being absolutely nothing, worthless, no value there. You can find something that makes it worthwhile. And even if it's just that little something that you find that's going to keep you going for another day, that's fine too, right? Let's see what we're doing with this energy. Where is this taking you? Ah, look at that, 7 to an 8. Well, it's taking you exactly where we would expect it to. It's taking you toward the fruition of this work, right? And maybe with the 7 and 8, part of the work for you right now, part of the quest that you're on, is to try to recognize the fruits of your labor as they are presenting now. Okay. So in other words, we don't have to wait until it's, harvest time and all of these tomatoes have gotten as big as they're going to get. and we can go and collect all of them. This is saying, hey, while you're out there doing this work, you can pick a little tomato and have a little snack, right? That maybe to keep you going, you need a little bit of nourishment, right? Maybe we need to sample, we need a little taste test to keep us going, right? But also I feel like this card, with this card, is you focused on what you know is coming. You know the results of this work. You know that if you continue doing the work you're doing, there's a confidence here with the sevens, right? There's a confidence that if you stick with it, if you keep doing it, if you have the discipline that it takes. See, this card is Saturn in Taurus. This is all about your discipline. If you keep at it, even on those days where it's hard to find the value or the nourishment, if you keep at it, everything will come to fruition. We just need discipline and patience, right? And now the tree is full. Now everything is just delicious, ready to be harvested, right? Let's see what's underneath the surface. We've got that devil energy. Very, very nice. This is the driving force within you. The Capricorn energy, the goat energy, the devil energy is your generative drive. This is that force within you that motivates you to create, to keep doing it. It's like we're trying to climb that mountain, and it's hard work, right? Why would anybody want to climb a mountain? We keep climbing, and maybe it really is, it's difficult to find the nourishment. We know why we're doing it. We know what's at the very top. But between here and the very top, we've got to have that discipline. We've got to have the motivation. You've got to have the willpower to keep climbing up that hill, whatever that hill is for you. If it's something work or creative, if it's something family or spiritual, whatever it is. This is that driving force. You put this goat in front of any mountain, it's going to climb the mountain. Okay. This energy doesn't care what the mountain is. Okay. It could be the completely wrong mountain for you. And that's where you need to have some sort of control over this goat so it doesn't just start climbing the wrong mountains all day. And then we're not making the kind of progress that we feel is our destiny. Okay? Because this driving force could become aggression. It could become pleasure-seeking. But for you, I think it really is becoming that generative drive. We're trying to generate something. Yeah. We're trying to create something meaningful, something worthwhile. See, there's a lot of earth energy now. I feel like this really is a very important reading for you, Taurus. You're an earth sign. A lot of earth energy here. What's behind the scenes is that magician. The magician is the card that can adapt. Okay? The magician is really, we think of like Hermes or Mercury, right? That's kind of, tending to the goat, right? And so the magician is the one that can adapt to the circumstances. It's almost like you're able to take your life as it is right now. What are the things that are around you? Who are you right now? You're able to take all of this and optimize it. Okay? So one, I think you're a very resourceful person. I think that you're like MacGyver. You can take anything that's here in front of you and you can make something that's valuable, to someone at some point. And maybe you can even take the available materials and you can create exactly what you need in that moment. I feel like this is that adaptability, right? So in your life, I think that you've learned how to take less than optimal conditions and turn them into something valuable, turn them into something beautiful. Hardships, struggles, setbacks, really, it's all about this 8. If we think of the 8 of Pentacles as the failure, you're taking that failure and you're turning it into something that's really bearing fruit. Like, that's magic, right? You think of going from that 7 to that 8, that's magic right there. Right? That's all magician. The magician can take something, it's a barren field, right? And then with a wave of the magic wand, suddenly the crops are full. and the harvest is upon us, and there is abundance. There is superabundance, and there is bounty. Okay? So this is a very, very important reading for you. And it is about the acknowledgement, I think, within yourself of your ability to do this, and to, of course, summon this driving force, right? This goat energy, this devil energy, to fuel the work that you're doing, to fuel this magic. See, the magician is also the trickster. So the magician is kind of like the fool in a way, where it needs some sort of direction. This is your ability to focus your energies. Okay, to really to put this goat on a leash and lead it to the right mountain with which you're going to work your magic. Okay, I think that in your life you've not always had the best sense of direction. Right? I don't think you've always known what your path is. And it might be something that you're continually developing. It might be a recent thing where you've had this kind of very concentrated focus, like the blinders are on now. That we're seeing like this, yes, this is where I'm putting my effort. This is where I'm taking my goat. This is the mountain that I'm going to climb. Because the magician is a card that's very, very much connected with the divine energy. Let's say the magician, Mercury Hermes, is the messenger of the gods. They're a god themselves, but they're the messenger of the gods. So they take what is coming from, Zeus, from the highest, divine energy, and they are carrying that message where it needs to go. Okay, so this is your ability to take that highest sense of purpose, of that highest divine energy, that the highest sense of destiny, your highest spiritual conception of who you are, and focus it, direct it onto the material plane, and create that kind of success, create that kind of life that you wish, create the abundance in your life that you really want, using the available materials. See, we all have to accept life as we find it. When we're created in this world, we can't choose our family when we're born, right? We can't choose where and when we're born or who we're born to. We just have to, that's it, that's the life, right? That's where the conditions into which we are born. And as we get stronger and as we develop our magical abilities, well, we can choose our family. I can choose my environment. I can choose where I live, right? And we have to do so according to that highest spiritual conception of ourselves. Our highest spiritual self, is sending the message through our concentrated mind of what it is we should be creating. Okay, so there's an intense adaptability here, but just because we can adapt to something doesn't mean we should. Okay, think of somebody that was born in a particular town, never leaves the town, right? Just takes life. This is life, so this is where I'm going to stay. This is who I'm going to be, right? Rather than taking that as kind of the raw materials, let's build something out of that, okay? And a lot of the time we don't do that because we're afraid. There's a Seven of Pentacles. There's a fear of failure here with this card, but not for you. I feel like you have this concentrated idea of who you are. I think you know where you came from and where you want to go. I think that you're not satisfied with just the life into which we're born. This is it, right? You have aspirations, and I want to see what they are with another card. Well, more earth energy. Wow, this is an important reading for you. Very important reading for you, because it's all about this magician energy, this concentrated, like, spiritual focus onto the material environment, onto your physical plane, your physical life, right? Your health, your wealth, your fitness, your finances, right? What you're building, where you're going, what the mountain is that you're climbing in your life. Very almost practical energy here. The Knight of Pentacles shows me that you do have long-term goals. And I think that what your aspirations are to realize those long-term goals. We're working here in the present moment, right? Trying to build something out of nothing, more or less. Learning to appreciate the subtle fruits of our labor, the little wins, right? All the while you've got this intense future vision of your life, right? So the Knight of Pentacles is looking out into the future and is saying, who am I going to be? What am I going to be? What am I going to be doing in the future? 5, 10, 20 years down the road, whatever the time frame. This is that energy. And so I feel like you've always got your eye on the prize. Yeah, your third eye. That's why it's singular, right? You've always got your eye on the prize. While you're focused on the intense work in the present, you're not forgetting about the goal, but you're not lusting after that goal. It's not like that we are just obsessed with this future accomplishment, that we're really kind of messing things up in the present. Okay? And that's a balance that needs to be struck. Okay? Because sometimes the Knight of Pentacles lives in the future, forgets about the present. So caught up in what could be that we forget to do the things today to make it happen. And so this never gets out of the future. It's always going to be something down the road if we don't learn to bring that energy into the present and concentrate our magician energy, that mental, spiritual focus, that magical ability, focus it on the present to continue doing this work. And so I feel like you've got the perfect alignment of energies right now. I want to see what the future position holds for you. Oh, an Ace of Swords. Interesting. Well, this is kind of, this is almost empty mind, right? This is full belly, empty mind, very Taoist. I feel like you're very focused and very concentrated. And that, see, is magician energy. But the mental energy, the magician goes beyond just the intellect. In your rational mind, in your thoughts, I think you're very calm. I don't think you're obsessed. I don't think you're overthinking anything. I don't think you are worried about anything. We're just laboring away, climbing this mountain, building this life. And I think that it continues to be one of simplicity. And I think that's even what we're kind of looking forward to, and that's maybe the way forward, is to just keep it simple. We're not overthinking. We're not complicating. We're not obsessing. We're not even... and it's almost like we're not harvesting really anything. We're building. And with the Ace of Swords here, I feel like this is the idea of kind of knowing the right time to harvest the fruit. You know, we think, gosh, I'm so hungry, I'm just going to go take all those tomatoes and eat them. But then there's this gnosis, this knowledge, this intuition almost. It needs a little more time. Right? It needs just a little more time. But we're looking for simplicity. We don't want to complicate our lives. We don't have this intricate kind of thing. It's really, the magician can sometimes complicate things. Sometimes has this life that it's trying to create. It's too complicated. We could never pull it off. I think that you're a little bit more simplified in that way. I think you have a very, very like simple goals, you know. I think it's kind of like if we were to ask you, what is it that you want in life? I think you got pretty easy answers, you know. I want my health. I want happiness. I want to have people around me that I love. You know, it seems like it's a kind of, it's a very calm thing for you. And maybe that's part of what you're trying to produce in your life, is a little bit less complex energies, right? I think you're looking to simplify your life, and maybe we're trying to build a simple life, right? So it might be this might be very literal, okay? It really could be that you're trying to literally build a life, or harvest some land, or you know, work the land, live off the land, or maybe there is something to do with agriculture or something like that here. But you're trying to live a more simple life. Now I want to select a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. It's going to go right here. We're going to put our very own Kelly Kapoor right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction for that card, put it down in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It helps out the channel. I really do appreciate that. Okay. Okay, general energy now, path of the Serpent, Four of Pentacles. Again, very kind of simple life. What do you require? Well, I just want 4 walls and, maybe there'll be a hot meal coming next. But this is really like building that foundation for your life. And I think you're someone that is kind of focused on basics. And this is a message maybe to go back to basics. And I think this is good for you. We're focusing on building a foundation. If we get the foundation right, we can build higher, we can expand, we can do all sorts of things. But if you don't focus on the foundation, all these other things that we're doing are going to crumble. Okay? It could be that we are really in this mode of just taking care of basic needs. I want health, I want wealth, I want, safety, security, and I want stability in my life. I want to have a good foundation so that I can continue building, into the future and realize more of these long-term goals with this very, very good, stable foundation. Okay? I think you're somebody that's very protective of your people. I feel like you've got a small, tight-knit family or friend group, and you're very protective of that. It's almost like we don't really want to let outsiders in because you're building something real good here. And it's kind of like, we've got to be a little cautious. Maybe it's a business thing, and maybe this is you want to grow your business, you want to expand your business, but not so fast. And maybe you don't have these lofty goals of having this, multinational corporation in your name, Maybe it's just like, I just want a little corner store where I've got, my regular customers, and it's just an easier life, It sounds good. It sounds really good. If there is a caution in this card, it's the caution against isolation, right? Make sure that we establish good relationships, that we have our tight-knit family and friends, that we have the kind of regular people in our life that add to our foundation, that add to our stability. Sometimes the Four of Pentacles can be the idea that maybe we're isolating ourselves in our devil energy a little bit. We're so focused, we're climbing this mountain, we're doing this thing, we're out in the field doing this work. Sometimes we forget that we've got friends and family that need us and whom we also need, right? Let's check the next card. Maybe that'll be some of that. Yeah, this is the Queen of Swords. And to me, this is us really getting above, getting above the complexity. So it's us getting closer to this simplicity. We see this Ace of Swords as pretty much out in the in outer space, right? It's kind of like the last layer of the atmosphere. I don't know what that is, the ionosphere or whatever it's called. The kind of last layer of the atmosphere. It's above all the clouds. It's like practically out in space, right? This card is getting there. Starting to get above some of the clouds. There's still more clouds up there, but we're rising up and up and up. And so we're seeing things from a higher perspective, not yet from the kind of Gnostic perspective, the true kind of cosmic perspective, right? It's like we're not at our final goal of enlightenment or simplicity yet, which in some ways are the same thing. But we're getting there. We're making progress, okay? But sometimes the Queen of Swords can rise so far above the clouds, right? The thoughts and feeling. What are clouds but air and water, right? Air with a bunch of water in it. It's a cloud, So sometimes we can rise so far above the heart and mind that we kind of lose connection with the heart and mind. We're looking at things from this bigger picture, and this is someone who's risen up and is kind of isolated, right? So we want to make sure we reconnect with the heart and the mind. Mainly the heart here, because I feel as if there isn't any water here at all. So with the air and the earth, it has a tendency to get a little dry. We think of like kind of, the earth and then just a lot of wind, and it's just continually getting drier. So we need a little bit of water. This is a reminder that, yes, we want to get this objective viewpoint. We want to reach this simplicity and this enlightenment and this really Zen kind of approach to what we're building. But we don't want to cut ourselves off from family and friends. Now, we've got an Emperor, more fire energy. Now, this is in the position of the difficulty. Okay. There might be, how do I say this? there might be, well, this could be part of the isolating energy, right? There might be a little bit of a, I don't want to say temper. I don't feel like you have a temper. But I feel like there might be a little bit of this kind of hyperfixation on what we're doing, that any kind of distraction kind of annoys us, you know? That we might have a tendency to kind of snap on people a little bit, you know, be a little snappy in our words. Because this is a card, this is an energy that is really focused, really in control. It's the leader, a lot of responsibility. You're the one that's kind of orchestrating all of this, you know, building this life. But sometimes this card can also be a little isolated. Right? We think of the emperor, who has a lot of layers between themselves and the people, you know. It could be a card too that says you've got your trusted advisors, you've got your really tight-knit group of people, but beyond that, we're losing connection a little bit. Okay, and this is also a card that is kind of, if we're the boss, sometimes we could be a little bit bossy as the boss, you know, that we could be a little bit too strict almost. And so I feel like there's still this dryness here. I feel like it's just been a lot of business, a lot of work, a lot of hard work. Where's the refreshment? Where's the community? Where's the love? Where's the sampling of the fruits that we talked about at the beginning? Okay. So there is one card left on the path of the serpent. And it's another air card. It is the Seven of Swords. Well, the Seven of Swords is a good card, I think, in this case, because it's kind of, it's the way we feel the commitment to our path, for one thing. If we're focused on this Ace of Swords, whatever the kind of goal is, very simple goal, I feel, it's that clarity, it's that enlightenment. These are all the temptations that come to throw you off your path. You know, when you're very close to achieving enlightenment, that's when the evil forces will throw everything they've got at you to try to get you to fail or to give in, to quit, right? And so I feel like this is really an indication that you're so close to the success that you want. You're so close to this harvest, right? That there seem to be a lot of distractions, and in that case, we need the Emperor. We need the Emperor to just, you know, kind of direct the way and have that kind of discipline that keeps out all of those extra distractions, right? I feel like this is also the blockage of communication. Okay, we really need that mystery card. I feel like this is us. Let's say you have your trusted advisors. This is us maybe realizing that they're not always the trusted advisors. Okay, that we keep just these core people around us that maybe we're lacking in diversity of opinion. Maybe we need to get some other perspectives, you know, that we're so focused on this straight and narrow, and maybe everybody around you is kind of reinforcing that, right? Agreeing with you, and yeah, maybe we need some other opinions. Maybe we need someone to disagree. Maybe we need someone to argue with, you know. Very interesting. The communication is a big one for you. I feel like we get so intense into our work that communication suffers a little bit. Okay, and that kind of suggests something about the magician energy too, especially being in the background here. It kind of feels as if there was at one time more trust and more communication, but maybe somebody did you dirty, and that's now we're kind of maybe we're focused now on ourselves. Maybe we are more isolated. Maybe now we just keep those couple of trusted friends around us because we don't want to let in that trickster Mercury, you know, who maybe deceived us or misled us in the past. So it could be why the magician card is back here. Okay, that maybe we were taken advantage of, maybe we were lied to or deceived in some way. It could have been a financial, like a business deal that kind of went bad. And so the Seven of Swords then would be, we really aren't trusting anybody. We really are trusting only in ourselves and in spirit. And that, I mean, it's a good thing, right? But it also is isolating. Let's look at the mystery card. I want to see some water energy. I want to see something more lighthearted. I want to see, I think water energy would be great. I think a Fool card would be great. We could get like a 6 of something, a 6 of swords or something like that. But I think Fool or water energy. Water energy preferably, because we need that nourishment, right? If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Oh, yeah, look at that, the Fool. There we go. The Fool is really the opposite of the Emperor, right? The Emperor is very strict, very focused, very goal-oriented, is very organized, is poised, is serious. The Fool is none of those things. The Fool is disorganized. The Fool is haphazard. The Fool is just free. The Fool is playful and kind of wandering, right? And so I feel like this is some of the energy that we need right now. The Fool is also very trusting. It's innocent. We'll just, wander into anything, but the Fool could then be taken advantage of. So we may need a little bit of this, but really life is about the balance, okay? We don't want to go completely Fool, right? But we need a little bit of that lightheartedness, a little bit of that trust, a little bit of that playfulness, a little bit of the Fool will just walk around and say, oh, there's a cherry tree or whatever, or oh, look, some fruit, and will just, nourish themselves. Not with this kind of almost this strict energy that says, no, it's not ready yet. They're saying just, indulge in the fruits of your labor a little bit. Allow spirit to guide you, of course. I feel like what you're doing, though, the work that you're involved with right now, I feel like it's creating a fresh start for you. I feel like this is something that really has a very genuine purpose behind it. And I think it really is, maybe kind of a starting over or a starting from scratch for you. Because maybe the 7 and the 8 of Pentacles says that you've tried to grow this before, it didn't work. Maybe you're starting again with some new soil, some new seeds, So this might be, something like a new path for you. I do feel like you're getting very close to the rewards, to the fruits of your labor. When this card teams up with the Mercury energy, we have the idea of raw talent and then the refined skill. And so I feel like this is really a beautiful combination. This is perfect. This is what makes a master, okay? But if all we have is the magician, all we have is the skill, the training, the technique, you may play your instrument flawlessly, but there's no spirit, there's no soul to it. You know what I mean? And so we need to make sure we find the soul. We find that improvisation, that spontaneity, that feeling, that joy and love of playing the music. You think of somebody, a musician who's technically flawless, can play every note in any combination, and it's perfect. But you listen to it and there's something missing. I just don't feel that passion. I'd rather listen to something that's a little bit less technically flawless that has soul to it, right? Let's not forget the soul, okay? We're going to do an extended reading. We don't want to forget that. You can click on the link up top or down below. New readings for Taurus Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from, especially if this is your first time here. Welcome. I appreciate you. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.